Yeah, Bowser YouTube, 6 Foot Hacks here. Fair warning, I am really tired, but I didn't want to miss out on not uploading a team building video for you guys. It's just I've been really busy with work and school and just you guys know the gist. Just personal life. Just getting me overwhelmed. Plus, I have to do 2 league matches this week, along with 2 more league matches in my VPL league, which is the side league I'm in. So that's kind of something else I have to focus on, and that's only like it's not a lot in one. It's just this week because I have to do the extra 2 matches because of the VPL match I have to do late, and then my week 11 match against Jay I also have to do this week, a couple days after I played Patterz, because we can't play on the actual week 11 week, so we got to play the week before. You guys, if you guys understand what I'm saying. So yeah, just crazy busy week this week. So after this week, everything will hopefully be back to normal. Just I'm tired. So if it's noticeable, I apologize. But unfortunately, I like to normally do the team building videos before I have my match, because that way I can tell you guys better what exactly I'm expecting going into the match and what I'm hoping will kind of play out in the match. But with the case of Patterz, and spoiler, next week, I've already played Patterz, so while you guys are watching this, I already know the outcome, so I'm going to try my best to not spoil it for you guys. But it was one hell of a game with a surprise ending that I know you guys will enjoy. Now, we are coming off of a pretty controversial win against Joey in week 9. What I mean by that is that we got pretty lucky with hacks, and apparently that's my fault, so I'm sorry, I guess. But yeah, we were able to beat Joey because of hacks. Then, well, I mean, you can go further into it, but moving on. We will face Joey again in playoffs, though. I am 99% sure we will. So, there will be Joey versus Leo round 2, and this time I will not hesitate, and I will pull the trigger. And hopefully, I won't hacks the shit out of him. And we can have a good, clean game. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping will happen in playoffs. But yeah, I'm just moving on to this week's team building video. We are facing Patterz, aka Daniel Patterz, the coach of the, I really want to say it's the Newcastle. I think I said New England Nidokings in the battle. I'm sorry, Patterz. The Newcastle Nidokings. Now, last season, we actually lost to Patterz. Last season, Patterz had a pretty fat team. I was not that well versed. Well, he wasn't either, but he, I think, had a better draft than me in the first season of the UCL. But actually, no, this season, yeah, this is actually a really terrible matchup for us, honestly. But back to the story. We lost to Patterz last season, which really sucked. So of course, you guys know with the trend that we've had this season so far against Nappy and Nexus, we lost against them too last season, but we were able to pull out the W's. Now, a playlist to all my UCL battles is down in the description if you guys would like to go check that out after this or before this and come back to this. But yeah, we lost to Patterz last season, so of course I am looking to pull out a W. Now, the good thing about this is that I actually vaguely remember the match me and Patterz had, so I can still kind of hopefully tell you guys what I'm expecting going into this match and what I'm hoping will kind of play out. So yeah, just follow me if it may actually seem like I don't know, or like I don't know what I'm expecting. I'm telling you guys what I was expecting before we actually had the match. So yeah. We have a absolutely terrible. This is probably one of the worst matchups that we have, or that we have had so far this season. And what I mean by that is that Patterz has not only a pretty fat core between Cresselia, Quagsire, and Amoonguss. Hitmontop to an extent, and I guess maybe bulky Mismagius. But he has he has fast, offensive, hard-hitting threats. For example, Infernape is pretty fast. Haxorus can be scary after a Dragon Dance. Mega Deontay outspeeds my entire draft, bar Zebstrika. Dugtrio, oh my lord. Dugtrio, guys, you have no idea how terrifying, how scary Dugtrio is going into this matchup. Now, it's pretty evident at this point that we do have a bit of a ground weakness in our draft. That's the only real downside of our draft. And of course, Dugtrio, not only is it fast, it has access to Arena Trap, which means if I'm not running Shed Shell or Balloon on, let's say, Victini, Terrakion, or Skunk Tank potentially, Zebstrika maybe, I don't think so, but mainly Victini and Terrakion, then Dugtrio just comes in and destroys them. I don't exactly have a safe switch into Dugtrio. Yes, I do have Leafeon and Shaymin. Dugtrio does have access to Aerial Ace, and if he is Life Orb with Dugtrio, that could be absolutely terrifying. Another scary mon that Patterz could potentially bring is Mega Aerodactyl. Not Mega Aerodactyl, sorry. Regular Aerodactyl, because that thing can just run Adamant and pretty much outspeed anything that we want to bring, unless for some reason he thinks we're going to bring Zebstrika, which honestly there is maybe a chance we could bring Zebstrika. He could potentially just bring... I don't really see him bringing Electivire, but Cresselia can kind of take Zebstrika on 1v1. Also, I've noticed that he really likes dual screen Cresselia, so that was something that Ellis and I were going to watch out for going into this match. If he sub-calm Mind Cresselia, that could be a bit of a nuisance, but depending on what coverage move he has will determine on how we can deal with it. But this is a squad that we are bringing this week. We have Vicente the Victini, starting us off, Tortuga the Mega Blastoise, Bruno the Registeel, Tranquilo Krookodile the Krookodile. I don't know why that was such a tongue twist for me to say. Evergreen the Shaymin, and then making his return, Joseph Sigilyph, the Sigilyph. So yeah, now as I was saying, unless we have Shed Shell, then Dugtrio can pretty much just trap Victini and just KO me with any move that he wants to go for. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be wanting to run a Life Orb variant. Actually, sub Life Orb Dugtrio could be a little bit threatening depending on how we play around it. But mainly Life Orb for attacks is what I'm pretty sure Patterz is going to want to bring in for this match, because he can have Sucker Punch, Stone Edge, Earthquake, and Aerial Ace, or if he wants to Pursuit, he can put Pursuit over Stone Edge maybe, or Aerial Ace maybe. But I don't think that he's going to be expecting us to have Shed Shell on Victini. It would be, I don't mean that in a bad way, but I don't think that he's knowledgeable enough to expect us to have Shed Shell on Victini. Like, I don't mean that in a bad way, but even if he does prepare for Victini, I still doubt he'll have Pursuit on Dugtrio. That's what I mean by I don't think he'll be prepared to the point where he's going to run Pursuit, expecting Shed Shell Victini, and then he's going to Pursuit trap us, if you get what I mean. So yeah, I don't think he's going to have Pursuit on Victini, so I'm really positive that Shed Shell is going to be really good for us in this match. So I'm hoping Victini will be able to put in a lot of work. Taunt is mainly here for Cresselia, just because Cresselia is super fat. Yes, we can deal with it to an extent. We do have Toxic, we have Spadef drops from Seed Flare, we have Dark type in Krookodile, and Dark Pulse from Blastoise. But Taunt overall is the main way to stop Cresselia, because that way we stop him from most likely wanting to dual screen, or maybe try to Healing Wish, Thunder Wave, Moonlight, Subcom Mine maybe. Basically, Victini should not be touched by Cresselia, and in an ideal world, if everything goes accordingly, Victini can actually beat Cresselia 1v1 unless he has like hidden power ground, which I could maybe see him wanting to run if he's like a Calm Mind variant. But Cresselia overall is just going to be a really fat mon to deal with. Luckily though, we do have a lot of pressure on our team. Shed Shell, of course, is just for Dugtrio. We have enough speed to outspeed Haxorus, barring the fact that he is not +1 speed or Scarfed. That's really it for Victini. It does apply a lot of pressure to Patterz' team, so he can force in switch-ins to Cresselia, and then we can taunt it and just wear it down accordingly. He doesn't really have a safe switch-in to Victini's coverage moves, which is really great. So being able to force in Cresselia to taunt it to just wear it down with blue flares is going to be really good going into this match. So moving down the line, we have Mega Blastoise, Tortuga. Oh my, guys, Mega Blastoise, if you're playing League format draft, this thing is an absolute monster. I honestly did not think Blastoise would be that great in League format, but it has been proving me completely wrong. So we have enough speed to be able to outspeed a speed creeping Cresselia, I think. Yeah, so if he is running a bit of speed, like 28 speed, we should be able to outspeed him. Now, the one annoying thing about Patterz is that he doesn't actually show like his EV spreads that he uses, and Ellis found this pretty annoying when it came to trying to find out the correct EV spreads. But if Patterz does run a bit of speed creep, I don't think he's going to be running enough speed to reach 110 speed. So I'm pretty sure Blastoise will be able to outspeed, and Dark Pulse could actually 2-hit KO depending on the EV spread of Cresselia. If it's physically defensive, I'm pretty sure we 2-hit KO. With the HP investment, we do chew a +2 Jolly Lumberry Haxorus's Dragon Claw, and this is basically what I think he's going to want to bring. As you can see, the nickname, you guys don't know how terrifying Dugtrio is. Basically, this is all the speed he needs to really run, because then he can run 96 into HP or defense to have a little bit of bulk to maybe chew a hit from something if need be, but I'm pretty sure he is just going to want to run Life Orb. Ellis thought that maybe he would want to run Choice Band, but I don't really expect him to run Choice Banding. Deontay, even though yes we do have Registeel, which in theory pretty much counters this, he has Infernape and Dugtrio and Hitmontop, and Electivire to an extent, Quagsire too, to be able to just destroy Registeel. So if he doesn't bring Deontay, I'm honestly gonna be surprised, because they can still be a pretty good offensive threat to our team. Plus he can force us into Registeel, in which case he could try to double and take advantage of that. Although there is a chance he may not want to bring it, I would see why he wouldn't want to bring it because of Registeel. I'm not sure what he could run over it. Quagsire, I guess maybe that wouldn't be bad. Depending on if it's water absorb or not will determine on how we can deal with it. But we have two grass types in Shaymin and Leafeon, so I'm pretty positive he's not going to want to run that. And then he has Amoonguss here, which I'm pretty sure he's going to want to run specially defensive, just because passing up a free Spore is a little foolish, I think. Plus specially defensive Amoonguss can still chew 2 Ice Beams from Modest Blastoise depending on the rolls and if I have rocks up or not. So I can really see him running Spadef Bulky Amoonguss to try to put some to sleep and just be able to switch into Shaymin and Mega Blastoise a lot easier actually. And then Regenerated with Black Sludge is going to be really annoying to deal with. Mega Aerodactyl, like I said, could just run Adamant. It can just run 4 attacks and wreck through our draft, which I'm really hoping he doesn't bring Aerodactyl, because again we do have Registeel, which I mean Registeel does to an extent just completely deal with Aerodactyl, and then there's a chance we could run like Scarf Victini. There's really no reason he should expect us to bring Terrakion, but I'm guessing if he does expect Terrakion, we could be Scarfed, so he could prepare for that. But I mean, he has Cresselia, which just completely switches into Terrakion, so I don't really know why he would expect Terrakion. But yeah, offensive Aerodactyl can just be a humongous issue for us going into this match. I really don't see him bringing Ursaring or Mismagius. If he doesn't bring Aerodactyl, he could maybe bring Hitmontop. He could also potentially bring Electivire. I'm not sure why he would bring Electivire though, but I'm 90% sure these first 5 mons, Ellis and I are 90% sure that these first 5 mons are what he is going to want to bring. And then the last one could be Aerodactyl if he wants to be more offensively based, or it could be Quagsire if he wants to be more defensively based. So we're just going to have to wait and find out and see what he does want to bring. If he does bring Quagsire, I don't know what he could bring. Recover, Scald, Earthquake, Ice Beam, or Toxic maybe. Hitmontop could just be like Close Combat, Rapid Spin, Toxic, Mach Punch maybe. Electivire, I honestly don't know. Again, I don't see why he would bring Electivire. Maybe for Zebstrika, but honestly, I don't know. I really don't think he should pick Electivire. Is what I'm saying. At least pick it to bring. But yeah, Mega Blastoise should be a huge issue for him, because he doesn't exactly have a safe switch-in unless he is specially defensive Amoonguss and specially defensive Cresselia, and I mispredict or I go for a resisted move. So if I Scald on an Amoonguss switch-in, then that sucks. Or if I Ice Beam or Scald on a Cresselia switch-in, that kind of sucks, because then if I don't burn it, I don't think we're going to be able to 2-hit KO it. But regardless, we should be able to outspeed it, so there's a chance we could flinch it, which I don't want to have to rely on, and I probably won't rely on, because we do have a pretty easy switch into Cresselia in the form of Bruno the Registeel, also rocking the Shed Shell, because if he does bring Amoonguss and we lose Registeel, if we lose Registeel and he does bring Mega Deontay, in theory, Mega Deontay just gets a free KO every switch-in, and if he's Modest, it's even worse for us. I guess maybe he could try to run like Modest Rock Polish, but I really don't see why he wouldn't just go Jolly, because regardless, this moveset still just destroys us. Obviously, maybe not Timid Nature, plus speed, minus defense, or minus special defense. But regardless though, he is not able to 2-hit KO Cresselia, which is really great. So we can switch into it, and if he doesn't double into Dugtrio. But yeah, like I was saying, if he can't 2-hit KO us, the only downside would be if he tries to double into Dugtrio, then he could potentially trap us. If he doesn't see that we don't have leftovers, he could maybe be suspicious of Shed Shell, or maybe he'll think that we're Shuckleberry or something along those lines. Regardless though, this is the best Stealth Rocker we have, because of course we have Iron Head, and then if he does want to bring Hitmontop, we can just Toxic it. If he does bring Aerodactyl, we can Chew and Earthquake and Iron Head it, and I think knock it out, or just bring it really low. And with defensive ease, we can actually Chew a Life Orb Close Combat coming from Infernape, which this mod, I wanted Infernape for the Durham Druddigons in the UCL this season, but I think I got scooped up before I was able to pick it. Yeah, it was the first round pick for Patterz, so obviously we weren't able to get it, but I really kind of wish we did pick Infernape, because Infernape is just so versatile. It has an amazing speed stat. It has Sword Dance and Nasty Plot, Calm Mind. It has Stealth Rocks. It can go Scarf, Banded, Specs, Mix. This thing literally just destroys my team. Like I have no switching to Infernape. Depending on what kind of set it is will determine on how we can deal with it. This is why I said that we have a pretty bad matchup going into this week, because Patterz just has so many, like I said, he has so many offensively fast, scary threats for us to deal with, and with the proper plays, he can really put in a number to us. So Infernape is something that I would definitely have to watch out for alongside Dugtrio. If he doesn't bring Aerodactyl or Mega Deontay or Dugtrio or Infernape, if he doesn't bring all 4 of these and he only brings like 3 or 2 of them, that's actually going to be absolutely amazing, because that's a whole lot less offensive than we prepared for, because again, I'm pretty sure he'll want to go an offensive route because he already has two pretty fat walls in Amoonguss and Cresselia. Like I said, he could maybe put Quagsire over Aerodactyl. He still has 3 great offensive threats, but that's just one less offensive threat that one of our walls on our team has to deal with, basically. So if he only brings 3 or 2 of these, then that's actually going to be a lot better for us. Worst case scenario, he brings all 4 of these, and then that could be a very, very scary match. But I'm pretty sure if it came down to it, he would want to bring these 2 first. Infernape and Dugtrio are definitely what he's going to want to bring. And then Deontay and Aerodactyl, or Deontay or Aerodactyl if it came down to it, potentially. But I don't really see why he wouldn't want to run Mega Deontay, even though, yes, we do have Registeel. Again, he can just destroy us with Dugtrio and Infernape, and Cresselia can wear it down with Hidden Power Ground. But yeah, we can easily switch into Deontay. Toxic, of course, is for Cresselia, for Quagsire. Hitmontop, Mismagius if he brings it. Unfortunately, Amoonguss does get a free Spore on us, which does kind of suck. But if we can just wear down Amoonguss maybe late game, then that's going to be really great as well. Outside of dealing with Deontay, I don't really see too much else that Registeel will be doing in this match. It does also bait in Infernape, but on the switcher, an Earthquake does do a lot of damage. So I am going to have to watch out for Infernape potentially trying to switch into Registeel. And if I can catch it with an Earthquake, then hey, that's going to be really, really great. But yeah, Shed Shell should save us from being trapped by Dugtrio, and then we can go from there. So moving down the line, we have the first of 2 tricks up our sleeves in this match. We have Scarf Krookodile. Now, originally, Ellis was thinking about going more of a bulky variant. I think we still had max attack. We just had a lot more HP and a lot less speed EVs. And we were adamant with black. Oh no, we're still adamant. But we had black glasses instead of Choice Scarf. Now the reason why we have Choice Scarf is because, like I said, Patterz team is so fast and so aggressive and offensive that having Scarf Krookodile, which as you can see can easily actually, yeah, the speed EVs are to outspeed Aerodactyl, so unless he's running like Scarf Infernape, or he gets his Haxorus to +2 speed, then nothing on his draft will be able to outspeed Scarf Krookodile, bar a Scarfer on his team, or +2 Haxorus. So Krookodile is just a really great Scarfer because we can check the Aerodactyl and we can check Dugtrio, because we can actually Pursuit KO Dugtrio if he tries to switch out. And I think the min damage is like 50% just because Dugtrio is so fragile. So if worst comes to worst, we can sack off a Pokemon to Dugtrio, get a free switch into Krookodile, and just Pursuit Trap it, and then go from there. The only downside to that is that, of course, we're locked into Pursuit. So that'll be something that we potentially have to deal with. There's no real reason for us to have Moxie, just because Intimidate allows us to safer switch into Aerodactyl and safer switch into Dugtrio, which is what Krookodile is mainly here for, because again, those 2 mons are seriously scary for us. Knockoff still does a pretty good chunk of damage to Cresselia. Now I know it may seem odd that we have Crunch and Knockoff, but honestly, there's no other 4th move that we really need that we would like to be locked into against Patterz if it came down to it, if you get what I'm trying to say. So if it comes down to a Crunch late game after I've knocked off a couple times, Crunch will actually be doing more damage than Knockoff and maybe picking up certain KOs that otherwise Knockoff, after the item has been knocked off, will not pick up. So yeah, I did also try to find another move besides Crunch, but really there's nothing else that we should really be running. But I'm definitely hoping Krookodile will be able to Pursuit Trap Dugtrio or Pursuit Trap the Aerodactyl, and we won't have to deal with either or with both of them. So moving on down to the second trick up our sleeve is our second Scarfer, which is Scarf Shaymin. Also, we have enough speed to outspeed Yeah, we have enough speed to outspeed Scarf Aerodactyl. Sorry, I was thinking of the match against Jay and other information that you guys shouldn't be worried about. So forget I even said anything. We're back to Shaymin. We have Shaymin the Evergreen making. How did I get? I don't know how Shaymin didn't get drafted until round 3 when I picked it, because Shaymin is an absolute monster. This thing is crazy good. I'm actually really hoping to be able to use Healing Wish in this match against Patterz to maybe heal back up Krookodile or Sigilyph or Mega Blastoise even. So I'm really hoping to be able to use Healing Wish. But the reason why we have another Scarf is because, again, Patterz' team is scary fast, and scary offensive. So Scarf Shaymin is able to check DD Haxorus. It's able to check basically everything else that isn't Scarf. So yeah, if he's not running Scarf Infernape, which honestly there's no reason he should run Scarf Infernape, because Life Orb 4 attacks Ape or Life Orb Nasty Plot / SD 3 attacks is terrifying enough. He could go mix. That's something that we're also expecting, but basically this checks any non-Scarf Pokemon and a +1 Haxorus. If for some reason he does want to bring Haxorus, we have Dazzling Gleam, Psychic hits Amoonguss and Ape, and Seed Flare is just there to spam once we are able to get rid of Amoonguss. If we are able to get rid of Amoonguss, because this thing could potentially be very annoying. Assault Vest is something that I don't think he would want to run, just because, again, Spore, putting a Pokemon to sleep for free is basically like you being up one Pokemon the entire match, because your opponent is forced to stay in that first turn, and then if he doesn't get the second turn wake, then he'll have to get the third turn wake, and then that's 2 free turns that you have to do whatever you want. So I really don't see why he would want to bring Assault Vest. Amoonguss, but Spadef Bulky for sure. Still, Psychic is going to be doing a decent amount of damage to the Amoonguss on the switch, and also this allows us to outspeed Mega Deontay. If he's Rock Polished though, +2 Rock Polished Mega Deontay could actually be very scary, so I will have to watch out for that if he does want to bring it. Maybe we'll have some payback and we'll miss a Seed Flare or 2 if we do go for it. But yeah, that's pretty much Shaymin, just another Scarf or 2, hopefully catch Patterz off guard and maybe pick up a surprise KO. And then the final mon is Swagilyph the Sigilyph, aka Joseph. Now, this was a toss-up originally between Clef and Sigilyph, and ultimately Ellis decided that Sigilyph was better for us to have over Clef, because Clef just gives Amoonguss another mon that it could potentially beat 1v1. And the good thing about Sigilyph is that we can have Focus Sash intact for the entire match, even if he wants to get up rocks, as long as he doesn't get off any prior damage on us. So if worst comes to worst, let's say the Infernape gets up a Nasty Plot or Sword Dance, we sack something off, we bring in Sigilyph, we chew any hit he wants to go for, and in return we knock him out with Psychic, or if Haxorus is at +1, we can Ice Beam it. His only real switch into this is Cresselia, which is why we have Toxic, which is going to be really great, because Cresselia, again, could be very annoying depending on what kind of set it is. So I will have to figure out what it's running and how we will be able to deal with it. But this is just a really nice safety net if Haxorus gets up 2 Dragon Dances, or if Dugtrio gets out of hand, or if Deontay does go for a Rock Polish and it's in range of Energy Ball. Basically, you guys get what I'm trying to say. If I mess up and I lose control, then hey, we have Sigilyph to kind of save us and be like, it's okay, we got this. But yeah, guys, that is the team for this week's match going in against Patterz. That will be up tomorrow at 10 a.m. for you guys who will be up that early. And like I said, it was one hell of a game with a pretty good surprise ending, I think. What with the surprise ending? Yeah. But hopefully you guys did enjoy the team building. Actually, I didn't expect this to be like 30 minutes. I thought I would finish this sooner because I wasn't really 100% prepared going into this match. But I think I explained that more in the actual battle itself. But yeah, huge thanks to my boy Ellis for helping us make this team. He is our partner in crime when it comes to making these teams. Let us know what you think maybe we should have brought differently, or what you would think, or what you think Patterz could bring. I'm really hoping we don't lose to Patterz again, because that would actually really upset me, even though we do have a terrible matchup, and I know that may make some people happy after last week. But I'm hoping to pull out a W and continue the winning streak of the Durham Druddigons in the second season of the UCL. So thank you all for watching, guys. With that being said, I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. with this match. So later, everybody.